Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasari Gaura Bhakta. Okay. Shri Shri Prabhupada Jivanamritam Ki Jai. Shri Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Okay. Reading from Prabhupada Jivanamritam by Shri Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Okay. We just heard from Lord Brahma about Tatyanukam Pam Shushamiksamano. So look at within and find the problems there and not in the outer manifestations in the environment. But see that the environment is pushing us one way or other, good or bad, towards understanding how to give up our inner attachments. And this is an important verse by Brahma in his prayers to Krishna, that to see in the right perspective and to begin to break through from the the attached perspective that we're all kind of stuck in. And these kinds of verses from Brahma, enhanced by Srila Guru Maharaj, kind of jolt us, out of our sleep. And they're designed like that, so they have potency, in and of themselves. Guru Maharaj writes, brilliant summaries of each shloka, and then pow, gives us the powerful, direct quotation from the Shastra. Okay, so we just read about the sages of Naimisharanya saying that heaven, liberation, merging into the impersonal Brahman is absolutely nothing compared to the freedom and nectar of devotional service in relation to Lord Krishna. Okay. Okay, so this is number 11 from Srila Sridhar Maharaj, his summary. Of all sadhu sangha, the foremost is the service of the lotus feet of the bona fide spiritual master or Sadguru. I think we did this. I'll just read the English from Sri Prabhuda. Sri Prabhudasya. Okay. Thus, a person in search of the ultimate good should surrender to the Guru who knows well the Vedic scriptures, Shabda Brahman, and the Supreme Absolute Lord, Para Brahman, and for whom the mundane world has no charm whatsoever. Okay. Okay, the next one, 12. At the lotus feet of that Sadguru, divine relationship, practice, and objective, Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojana are all achieved. So that's Guru Maharaj's summary. Tatra Shiksha Seva Palaptischa. So Tatra Shiksha Seva, at the lotus feet of the Sadguru is understood, and we get divine service, seva, the objective, and palaptyasya, palaptischa, and the prayojana, the fruit, or rather the flower, the fruit of the progression from beginning stages of understanding the presence of the Lord everywhere to practicing and developing that realization that the Lord is always with us as a friend, and awakening that and finally coming to our objective, prayojana, which is the pure service of the Lord, leaving behind all our anarthas, attachments to the temporary world. So this is another one from Prabhupada. Those divine practices of pure devotional service that please the self-giving Sri Hari, who gives himself to his devotees, will be learned by continuously serving such a guru with full sincerity, knowing him to be one's dearmost well-wishing friend and the supremely worshipful embodiment of Sri Hari. So Prabhupada, telling us really clearly that what is the position of Sri Guru. Sri Guru is, the closest person to our hearts, even though we perceive it to some extent by their own mercy and potency. When you come in touch with a Paramhansa Vaishnava, just with a little bit of sincerity, a little bit of willingness to bow down, pranipatena, and kind of express some degree of surrender, whatever little bit we can do, then we get just flooded with transcendental wonder. This is the mercy of the real Vaishnava, and so we felt that with Srila Govinda Maharaj and Srila Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada. We've seen these things, and I in turn have seen similar things within my vision, at least, of the hearts of the devotees taking shelter of the acharyas who've been appointed by Srila Govinda Maharaj. I always say it, but it's true. Quite to an amazement, my own amazement, that these things are really coming through, and it's such a relief and so happy that the idea of guru and the presence of a genuine guru is coming through to new people by the grace of our beloved Srila Govinda Maharaj, no doubt. And so it's a wonderful, beautiful thing to see that, by their presence, automatically the disciples, the shishya, are understanding the shiksha and the necessity of seva and the seeing the ideal, the objective of full surrender. Having gone through so many things, we can perceive how the ideal becomes seated in the heart of new people, and it's quite wondrous and quite amazing that that the reality of Krishna consciousness breaks through the coverings of illusion and places itself in the inner heart of the Vaishnavas. And so Prabhupada here is telling us, how that happens by the continuous service of such a guru with, qualifies it by the deep realization of Srila Sridhar Maharaj that he gives to us in his, developed translations from the Sanskrit. Okay. Well-wishing friend, our best friend, with us, helping us, seeing way more than we can see what we need, and fulfilling it. And, by the potency of the whole transcendental arrangement of the Lord, those gurus, will continue helping us by our attempt to sincerely render service and remember them in our prayers. Okay. So the embodiment of Sri Hari. We can't see Krishna, but the Vaishnavas we can see by hired grace. They come before us, and you know, they sometimes, you know, as long-time old friends, they appear ordinary, but yet they're able to carry the absolute by their own sincerity and by the divine potency of Srila Govinda Maharaj. It's a wondrous thing, and that's going on in our transcendental mission. Okay, so we'll leave that here. Next is another quote from Kulashekar Maharaj, the great Alwar that was the king in the area of what's today is Trivandrum, and even there he's still remembered after, you know, like 1,500 years. He's still dear to the people in that area. I went there in the 70s, but you know, it was like that at that time. And beautiful Vishnu temple there with the 21-foot Vishnu lying in the, I think it's Garbhodakshay Vishnu. Okay. Jai Shri Shri Prabhupada Jivanamritam Ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Okay. Shri Chaitanya-charitamrta Ki Jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Nirmala Charja Maharaj Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya-charitamrta Acharya Brinda Ki Jai. And by their grace, we can get a glimpse of what Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj is really giving. You know, the realization, the understanding of the Shastra comes by the grace of Guru. By our attempts to surrender, then the Guru becomes present in the Shastra, and Om Ajnana Timirandasya opens our eyes to be able to see something of what is there. And by seeing something of what is there, we develop our understanding and are able to see more at a later stage. So Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Bolo. Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Now we're coming to Kaviraj Goswami has just firmly established by his own analysis and by quotations from the Shastra that blackish Krishna, who was there in the previous yuga, is now coming in this age in the golden form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he's continuing to give more evidence. And the next one is text from the Stava Mala of Sri Rupa Goswami, text 63 and 66. Complicated Sanskrit, so forgive if I can't read it very well. So I'll read the English first. By performing the sacrifice of congregational chanting of the holy name, learned scholars in the age of Kali worship Lord Krishna, who is now non-blackish, because of the great upsurge of the feelings of Srimati Radharani. So he's overwhelmed with the feelings of Srimati Radharani, so much so that the color of his complexion has altered to the complexion of Srimati Radharani, and we see him as golden, a golden personality. He is the only worshipable deity for the Paramahamsas, who have attained the highest stage of the fourth order, sannyas. May that Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Chaitanya, show us his great causeless mercy. So Rupa Goswami summarizing the descent of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the effect that Mahaprabhu has on particularly the Paramahansas, giving them full experience and realization of the transcendental world. And that Supreme Personality taken the shade of Srimati Radharani. Okay, the Sanskrit. Kalo yang vidvangsa spuhurtam abhiyajante juti bharad akshan gam Krishna mukha vidhibir utkirtana mayai upasyam cha prapur yang akila chatur tas rama jusam sa devas Chaitanya-kritir atitaram na kripayatu. Kripayatu, let him show his mercy. That's Supreme Lord, Mahaprabhu, atitaram. Chaitanya-krita, atitaram, excessively, giving so much mercy. And Chaitanya-drikti, that personality of Godhead having the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, bestowing causeless transcendental mercy. In this age of Kali Kalo, he who learned men worship, and he has a abundance of bodily luster, Juti Bharat, Akrishna Angam. The Angam, the body, the limbs, are Akrishna, not blackish. Krishnam, but that same Krishna who is worshipped by Mukha Vidhibi, the performance of sacrifices, in this age, Utkirtana Mayi, consisting of the loud chanting of the holy name. Upasham, he is the supreme worshipable object. So Rupa Goswami has composed, perfect Sanskrit expressing the glories of the position of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And for Kaviraj Goswami and all the Vaishnavas that have followed him, the words of Rupa Goswami are the distillation of the conclusion of all the Shastras. He's like the perfect realized soul, seeing directly into all the Shastra, and by his own heart's surrender, realizes the conclusion of the Shastra, and gives it to us in beautiful, perfect Sanskrit. Just as Srila Guru Maharaj has given us introductions and summaries of all the different shlokas indicating surrender in different contexts from the devotees and from the Shastra and so on. So here Kaviraj Goswami is citing Rupa Goswami to underline the realization and the position of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as non-different from Krishna, but yet, like we were saying yesterday, even more than Krishna, because of the presence of the luster and the nature of Srimati Radharani. So this is, the high second, or actually primary reason for the descent of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And secondarily, he's giving the Yuga Dharma, he's the Yuga Avatar, giving the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and with added potency due to his personal descent and pastime of taking on the transcendental luster of Srimati Radharani, the potency of the conveyance of the Yuga Dharma, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Harinam Sankirtan is increasingly potent. So we can't really perceive it, but we're just so fortunate in this age to have contact with the Harinam Sankirtan of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's like a very unusual time, and some of us have stumbled onto it. Some of us have achieved this by dint of previous sukriti, and we just, we don't know how we've done it, but nonetheless, what we do know is that we have found the lotus feet of tangible, genuine Vaishnavas, and who are expressing the real understanding of the descent of Sri Krishna in this age. So Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj goes on, text 59, the English. One can vividly see his glowing complexion of molten gold, which dispels the darkness of ignorance. The Bangla. Pratyaksha tahara tapta kanchanera duti yanghara chataya nashe agyana tamas toti. Tamas toti, the darkness. Nashe, we've all kind of heard that in the prayers. It destroys the agyana, the ignorance and the darkness. Tamasti, tamastati, the darkness. And the taptu kanchanera, the molten gold, duty, effulgence, which destroys. So the vivid prakyaksha, he comes in vivid presence, unmistakable, even to the demons. His presence is so powerful that it breaks through the illusion even of the heavily conditioned souls. So what to speak of those who want, have some desire to surrender? Mahaprabhu, of course, through the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, is giving, such access in this age that we have, we have no conception of how fortunate we are. Jai Gurudev. Hare Krishna. Okay. So, one can vividly see the glowing complexion, which shatters the darkness. So, number 60. A translation: the sinful life of the living beings results from ignorance. To destroy that ignorance, he has brought various weapons, such as his plenary associates, his devotees, and his holy name. So this the Bengali. Jivara kalmaya tamunasha karibhare aga uphaga nama nana astra dare. Astra, weapons. Nana, various weapons. Dare, he carries them, he holds them, which are for destroying darkness, nasha karibare, for destroying tama, darkness, which results from the kalmasha, the sinful activities of the jivara, the living entities. So to destroy that ignorance, he has brought the aga, the associates, the upanga, the devotees, and the nama, the holy names. These are the power of his transcendental weapons to smash the illusory energy. So it's actually, here Kaviraj Goswami is placing the presentation, his presentation of Chaitanya-charitamrta and his his understanding of the position of the living entities in terms of a battle. So we've got two things going on that we've just heard in Prapanajivanamritam, that accepting the nature of Krishna as coming through the material energy and dealing with us as devotees to help us surrender by everything that happens to us. The whole material world is set up in such a way so that it indicates the necessity of surrender to Krishna. But from another perspective, from the perspective of the conditioned soul, the material world is our enemy. The material energy is our enemy, and we have to fight to overcome that enemy. So, you know, achintya, beda, beda, both things are going on, and both perceptions are necessary in our, you know, for our proper development in the, you know, in progress in Krishna consciousness. We have to, you know, first realize that this is not the natural place for us to live. So things are going wrong. There's problems. You know, the setup of this world is such that it clearly indicates the nature of unreality, that we really don't belong here. There's something else. And then beginning to perceive that something else, we realize that Krishna is God. And He really is everywhere. And everything that's happening to us really is happening by His graceful arrangement. And just to perceive that, by development of our consciousness, more and more we perceive it, to the point where we're told, you know, we really know that Krishna is our friend. And knowing that, we have no problems. You know, no real problems that disturb our, you know, our inner confidence in the presence of the Lord. So we hear that in His rakshana, His protection, we have realization that comes. That gives us faith in the fact that He's going to protect us and always be with us. And here Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj is telling us He's got weapons, that He's going to blast the illusory energy for us. And these weapons are His plenary associates, His devotees at His holy name. So when we say, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar, Srivas Adi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda, these are, you know, there's Mahaprabhu, there's Nityananda Prabhu, Gadadhar, Srivas, and the Gaur Bhakta Vrinda, all the different devotees. They're all weapons of Mahaprabhu that will help us smash the illusory energy. So we may not know Advaita Prabhu, Srivas Prabhu, we know a little of Nityananda Prabhu, a little of Mahaprabhu, but we can take shelter of their names, which we do every day. And, you know, contained within the names of Vaishnavas is a potency. You know, in a similar way that there's potencies in the name of the Lord, there's potencies in the name of the Vaishnavas. So we hear, there's that particular song where, is it Bhakti Vinod? Where he says, take shelter of the name. Hear the name of the Vaishnavas, that is one of my joys. Maybe it's Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So the name of the Vaishnavas carries potency in itself, in and of itself. So text 61, the greatest ignorance consists of activities, whether religious or irreligious, that are opposed to devotional service. They are to be known as sins. Kalmasha. So, religious or irreligious, that's the realization of the Vaishnavas, that activities within this world, according to the Vedic principles or according to other, you know, scriptural principles around the world, following the principles of religion or irreligion based on personal motivation, like I want a better husband, I want a better wife, so I'm worshiping in this way, or people worship for, you know, peace in this world, or all these different things that have, you know, some of them perhaps relatively very nice. And as Vaishnavas, the Vaishnavas see that, you know, that niceness that's there in the goodness, and they see the badness in the more you know, tamasic, irreligious activities. But nonetheless, Kaviraj Goswami here is teaching us that it doesn't matter good or bad within the realm of the material world. It's all sinful. So, when we say sinful activities, that kind of carries a, I forget the word, but it carries a bad meaning to, people in general. Because they're used to the idea of, you're condemned because of sinful activities. And you're going to burn in hell, and all the different sayings that come from the Christians and the Muslims, and sometimes, but less so, from Judaism. The devotees understand, by the grace of the great devotees like Kaviraj Goswami, that sin means everything in the material world, everything that we're doing. So it's not that we're on the case of a few different people, or we're perceiving that some people are religious and good and some people are bad when they're doing calculated activities, koitava dharma, thinking that if they worship God they'll get things for this world, knowing not having any realization of the proper nature of the soul and the position of the soul as eternally servant of Krishna, who belongs naturally with Krishna in the spiritual world. So that because they can't see that, they have nothing but to worship for things in this world, and so it's a vicious cycle. They'll see in goodness for some time, and we're told eventually that wears off, and they have to be, because they're personally motivated, they have to gradually be pulled down. And so it happens in that way. So these are all known as sins. So we'll read the Bengali. Bhaktira virodhi karma dharma va adharma tara kalmasha nama se mahatamaha. Mahatamaha, the great darkness. These are to be known as kalmasha, sins. So dharma va adharma, religious or irreligious. So bhaktira virodhi, those activities, karma, which are virodhi, averse to bhakti, or devotional service. So all these things, good or bad, up and down in the material world, it doesn't matter. It's all sins. Okay, so 62. Raising his arms, chanting the holy name, and looking upon all with deep love, he drives away all sins and floods everyone with love of Godhead. Bahutuli Hari Boli Prema Drishtya Chaya Kodiya Kalmasha Nasha Premeti Bashaya. Bashaya, he floods this premati, this love of Godhead, to everyone. After Kalmasha Nasha, there's the word again, Nasha, destruction. He's destroying all the Kalmasha, all the sins, and flooding the world with love. After what? Bahutuli, raising his arms, Hariboli, chanting the holy name, with prema drishtya, prema drishtya, with the glance of love. Mahaprabhu, we can't imagine what that was, but we hear that just having the glance of Mahaprabhu, one is immediately overwhelmed with love and comes to the highest position of devotional service. So we have something of that experience in our seeing the glance of the Paramahansa Vaishnava. Something of Mahaprabhu is coming through to us by the higher grace, and here Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj is telling us, just what that potency is, coming to us by the grace of Mahaprabhu, descending through the kindness of the Paramahansa Vaishnavas. Okay, so now we have next text 63. It's it's Sanskrit by Kaviraj, but it's Kaviraj Goswami's own composition, it appears. So, may the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in the form of Lord Sri Chaitanya, bestow His causeless mercy upon us. His smiling glance at once drives away all the bereavements of the world, and His very words enliven the auspicious creepers of devotion by expanding their leaves. Taking shelter of His lotus feet invokes transcendental love of God at once. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the form of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, please give your mercy, Kaviraj Goswami is saying. And that mercy is there in His smiling glance, which at once drives away the bereavements of the world. And the words, His very words, just as the words of Kaviraj Goswami, which are brought to life by the grace of our gurus. I've seen personally in university, when I went to university, a Bengali scholar who's translating Chaitanya-charitamrta with the idea that he knows Bengali better than Srila Prabhupada. But it's just dry, empty. He knows all the words. He can read it and see it, but he can't feel it. He doesn't know it. And, because he can't feel it, he can't convey anything of what is really intended in Sri Chaitanya-charitamrta. They can see the brilliant poetry of Kaviraj Goswami, but they're not, even with their big intellects, so-called intellects, they're not able to penetrate any kind of depth of understanding of, what is being said by Kaviraj Goswami. Whereas our great Paramahansa Vaishnava gurus, they see and feel and live exactly what Kaviraj Goswami is saying. They live in that stream of consciousness. So it's by their grace that we can be exposed to that stream and eventually, also enter into it. So I'll do my best with the Sanskrit. Smrita loka shakang harati jagatam yasya parita giram tu param baha kushala pratalim palavayati padamba kam vapranayati nahi prema nivaham sadeva chaitanya-kritir atitaram na kripayatu. So we have atitaram again, excessively. He's giving excessive mercy, kripayatu. Mahaprabhu, this Chaitanya-caritamrta, we see that again in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That transcendental mercy is being conveyed. So, in this context, we can see that the potency of mercy is putting Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the conveyor in the position of the conveyor of some transcendental energy that's coming down and descending through him. So he's like the big power station that has, been built in this material world to transform the essence of spiritual existence, which really pervades the whole existence, but he brings it into the realm of utility as the transcendental powerhouse, and conveys that to in different directions to different like substations or transformers, who in turn charge it and reawaken the energy, the reality of that transmission. And then through those power stations or transformers, the energy is conveyed. And in that conveyance, some become like transformers that directly charge the electricity as it comes down from the different levels of power stations. So the Paramahansa Vaishnavas are like that. They come to us and convey some transmission from their heart to our hearts. And in the Chaitanya-charitamrita, reading it with the notion of submission and trying to give ourselves in service, in seva, and pariprashanena, inquiring, but inquiring with the idea that we need to understand this for our devotional development. And, not to understand it so that we can, impose our own understanding onto the conveyance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sometimes this can happen if we get overly involved in the direct meaning of the scriptures without reference to the conveyance that's given to us by our guru. We can misunderstand what the scriptures say. So therefore, it's essential that we read those things which are given to us, to our guru, according to our particular level of development. And we don't need to access other things, because the other things will only come through to us as as dry regulative presentations, or high presentations that only evoke voyeurism in us. The notion of looking at something that's very high and transcendental and trying to enjoy it for our own personal, so-called bliss. This goes on, and so we have to be careful to take shelter of our gurus and read what he gives to us and understand that this is what's meant for us now. And if we read through it fully, then read it again. We don't have to go to other books unless we get permission. If we get permission, then potency is there. Everybody needs scriptures according to their level of development, and the guru can see that. Just like Srila Prabhupada told a friend of mine that he should read Prapada Jivanamritam. Generally Srila Prabhupada didn't say that. And generally he gave us shelter of Srila Sridhar Maharaj through which we would receive that. But directly he only gave it to, one, maybe a couple others, I don't know. But so, if we're in third grade, we get third grade texts. And if we try to reference, university texts while we're in third grade, we're just going to become bewildered because we don't have the foundation built yet to understand it. So, Sambandha Gyan, we understand our position now in relation to our development in spiritual practices which give us progress towards our goal. Sambandha, Abhideya, Prayojana. These things are going on like simultaneously. Our objective is there. One day, by the grace of our gurus, they tell us we'll reach that objective. In the meantime, we perform our duties and practice according to the Abhideya rules and regulations. And in that way, our Sambandha, our understanding of what our relationship now is in relation to the personality of Godhead, based on the direction of our guru, develops, and we progress through the grade levels: first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, and so on. It develops similar to that. In each level, our teacher is helping us and containing us unless our progress justifies taking a glimpse at the next level. Okay. We'll just read one more because it's very short, and then we'll end for the day. So this is text 64. Anyone who looks upon his beautiful body or beautiful face becomes freed from all sins and obtains the wealth of love of Godhead. Sri Anga Sri Mukha Ye Kordi Darashana Tara Papa Kshaya Haya Paya Prema Dana. Prema Dana, the wealth of love of Godhead, they obtain it. After Papa Kshaya, the destruction of their sins, through the Darshana Tara, coming into the range of the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You know, by the grace of God, our gurus, we understand darshan, not as the general understanding, but as the deeper understanding of we get to present ourselves before the Lord. And here in the case of coming before Mahaprabhu, seeing his beautiful body and his beautiful face, you know, directly, Sri Anga and Sri Mukha, the body and the face, by seeing those, automatically we are freed from all sins and obtain the wealth of love of Godhead. So it's actually a fact. We don't know it, we can't see it, and it happens to us in a progressive reciprocal way, so that as we grow in our surrender, our love grows and develops. But once having planted the seed, even if we make mistakes and weeds grow around it, by the grace of our gurus, we'll clear those weeds, and the creeper will grow, and it will grow up to Goloka Vrindavan by the grace of our gurus. And we're told it's certain. It's just a matter of time and the degree to which we surrender. And the context of time, like we've been saying, is different for someone who's realized. He's seeing in terms of eternity. And the time scale of the material world is, you know, more or less irrelevant. You contact transcendence, you develop the seed, it's going to bring you to, it's going to it's come to fruition by the assistance of, like, the, you know, the perfect gardener. He teaches us how to pull the weeds, how to water the plant, and give it you know, nutrition, and help us along the way in our journey. And just if we keep close to our guru and keep trying to surrender, we'll be successful. And it will be, you know, in terms of absolute time, in terms of eternity, it will be, you know, a short time. It's said to have already happened. So maybe, who knows how many lifetimes, but for the you know, seeing in terms of eternity, those will just be maybe a series of dreams that, however long they appear within the dream, when you get out of the dream, you look back and it's, you know, just compact and short. You can understand that in a few sentences. So similarly, our sojourn in the material world will understand it, see it, and know that it was just, you know, a short sojourn in a dream state, when we are back in our real position. By the grace of the great Vaishnavas and, of course, Srila Kaviraj Goswami, who, empowered by Nityananda, has given us Sri Chaitanya-charitamrta. So we start tomorrow, text 65. Jai Srila Chaitanya-charitamrta ki jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Srila Bhakti Nirmala Charja Maharaj ki jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswara Acharya Brinda ki jai. Jai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. Prabhu, you want to chant Hari Haraya? Jai Gurudev. Hey Ramananda, you want to shut this off? You don't know how to turn that off, do you, Prabhu?
I could try.
Okay, well, let's just wait for Ramananda. I guess it doesn't matter if it runs. We can. Everybody can hear. If people are listening, they can hear the chanting. So it's okay. 64, I think. Maybe I'm wrong. Or is it 60?
I think it's 60.
Yeah.
Ramananda Prabhu.
Lavanya Didi, ki jai. How you feeling, Didi?
Okay.
You got energy today again?
Maybe. I had to go and sleep out in the garden.
What?
So baking.
Are there snores in there and stuff?
No, it's so baking up in those rooms.
Oh, I see.
Baking.
You got to get fans or something, right?
It's just awful. But
Yeah.
the garden was like heaven.
Wow.
Well, I did then I went on the grass because even the tent, I needed like so much cool.
Yeah.
It was so nice. Then it got cold and I had to wake up and go in.
Uh-huh.
It just cooled me down.
Yeah, I'm relieved that coolness came. Yeah, I had a problem sleeping early on last night. I don't think I slept till 11 or something.
It's not even going to go away for at least a week or two.
Is that really? I thought this coolness meant it was going away, but it's not, huh? Whoa.
Well, can't complain.
Well, we can, but, you know, it's not going to do any good.
Hari Hari Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha.
Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha. Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha. Gopala Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudana. Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohana. Chaitanya-charitamrta Sri Adi-lila Chaitanya-caritamrta Sundar Radha Giridhari Ju Ki Jai. Jai Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Nimala Acharya Maharaj Ki Jai. Chaitanya-charitamrta Acharya Brinda Ki Jai. Jai Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai. Sri Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Visvavaranya Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Brinda Ki Jai. Chaitanya-charitamrta Ki Jai. Visvabhyapi Tadiya Shaka Marta Ki Jai. London Sri Chaitanya-charitamrta Ki Jai. Samaveta Vaishnava Mandala Ki Jai. Samaveta Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Hari Nam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Jai Gaur Premanandi
Hari Hari Bol.
Jai Gurudev, Jai Gurudev.
Bhakti Vigraha Nyasi Maharaj Ki Jai.